Welcome back. You are watching the Dr. Nandi Show. Thanks for staying with us. Now, the foods that you eat affect your gut bugs, your gut bacteria, and your gut bacteria affects your health. So I can put it to you this way. If you have too many bad bugs and not enough good ones, then that can be disastrous for your waistline. Here to explain how gut health impacts your weight is celebrity nutritionist JJ Virgin. Now, JJ has helped millions transform their health. She's also a fitness Hall of Famer and a 4-time New York Times best-selling author, including the books The Virgin Diet, The Sugar Impact Diet as well. JJ, thank you so much for joining us. She's also a good friend of mine. She's awesome. So, how does gut health actually impact your weight? People say, well, what does that have to do with these gut bugs and gut health and my weight?
I know, isn't it crazy? Because way back when I first started this, like 30 years ago, it was all about counting calories. But what I saw very quickly was that didn't work. That our body isn't a bank account, it's a chemistry lab, and this food's information. And it turns out that what you eat can either make you burn fat and have great energy, I choose that, right?
Yes,
or it can make you store fat and have bad energy, and a lot of that is because of what that food is doing to your gut in a couple different ways.
Sure.
Now, one is your gut microbiome that you mentioned before, and we need to dig into that. And then also, the one that I discovered first was leaky gut.
Yeah, tell us about leaky gut. Because people at home are watching, they're like, you have no idea what is the gut just leaking out big stuff. It's not really that simple, is it?
No, it's not. And again, what I did early on was I was using an elimination diet. That's where you pull certain foods out because people were coming in and complaining about gas and bloating and joint pain and headaches. And I was pulling out the most common food culprits. And what I found was these foods, actually, when you pulled them out, all those terrible things went away really quickly, like in a matter of days, but they also lost weight effortlessly. And it's because your gut should be semi-permeable.
As almost a side effect, right?
A side
if you're listening to what you're saying, they couldn't tolerate foods, but as a side effect, they lost weight. Go ahead.
So we were doing that through testing, and what I kind of realized is the same foods kept showing up. They were gluten and dairy and eggs and corn and soy and peanuts, and then sugar and artificial sweeteners for a different reason. But the same foods kept showing up in the testing. We'd pull them out, and the side effect was weight loss. It was crazy. So it turns out that your gut can become more permeable than it should be, right? And when it does that, these foods get out into circulation, your body goes, oh my gosh, what is that doing there? And launches an immune attack. And not only can it trigger those symptoms I talked about, but it can also cause inflammation and cause you both to gain weight, but also crave the very foods that are hurting you.
That's exactly right. So for those of you who are following along, there's a 1-cell layer thick. And so on one side is poop, and the other side blood. So as JJ said, if you've got little holes in them, little tiny holes you can't see, I can't see through an endoscopy, then you get little products of these bugs that go through. Beginning of inflammation. That beginning of inflammation can make you insulin resistant. So insulin can't get in those cells. Your thyroid doesn't work well. All those things lead to obesity. All those things can lead to bad, inadequate health and increased inflammation. And then you talk about the cravings. What about cravings? How do they factor in?
Yes, because I mean, here's the thing. I don't believe in willpower.
Yes.
Right?
It doesn't work. You lose every time.
Right? So if you've got cravings, you're kind of sunk. Well, one of the things that happens is when you have this leaky gut, you actually start to crave the very foods that are hurting you because your body cranks out antibodies in response to these food particles getting out. And if you're not eating the food, those antibodies are like, well, where is it? So you start to crave the very food that's hurting you. Now, extend that out to the whole gut microbiome, which, as we know, our gut's a big producer of serotonin. If your gut's not working well, serotonin's lower, which means you're going to start to crave more sugar.
Correct.
And if things are off in your gut, you might have an overgrowth of fungal, like candida. And if you do that, that also makes you crave sugar and carbs.
And this whole idea about the brain gut axis. So, there's a big nerve called the vagus nerve, connects your brain to the gut. And as JJ said, if your gut is not healthy, if your microbiome is not healthy, as one part of it, then you're getting signals to the brain when you eat these simple sugars. It's the same reaction as cocaine, right? When you take some cocaine, the dopamine in your body, in your brain gets excited, depleted. The same thing happens with sugar. So of course you're craving more of them. And then on top of that, the bad bugs that you have also make you want to take the sugar. So it's a vicious cycle that goes again.
It's crazy. The more sugar you eat, the more you feed those bad bugs, and the bad bugs want more sugar, and on we go. And also, what happens when you eat sweet? What do you want?
More sweet.
More sweet.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Now, what do you think that the most common dangers to gut health today is?
And this is the challenge.
Yes.
Because someone will say, well, I don't have that leaky gut, right? And then you start to go, well, do you have any gas and bloating, headaches, fatigue, brain fog, food cravings, belly fat, you can't lose weight? And it's like, check, 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 check.
Yes, you got leaky gut.
The challenge is that the key biggest thing that's going to hurt your gut is stress. I keep wondering when they do these studies where they take the group that is stressed and the group that isn't stressed, where is that?
Exactly. That doesn't seem to exist, right? Everybody is, right?
So you've got stress as a key player because it makes your gut more permeable. Gluten triggers the release of something called zonulin that makes your gut more permeable. Fructose, which now everyone started to put agave and apple juice concentrate into a lot of the different foods to make them healthy. And those are high fructose, and they actually are the most, they're the worst sugar they are, but they are 7 times more likely to make your gut more permeable. And then a lot of these different GMO foods, the artificial sweeteners. So you look at this and of course medications, let's not forget all the antibiotics and things like that. So you just have a mess of things that are really in everyday life.
And you have this absolute, complete, perfect potion for what we have today, which is an obesity crisis, crisis on diabetes, high blood pressure. And as we were talking, every minute a woman dies of a heart attack. So this is serious stuff. This is not just theoretical. The reason why I wanted JJ to come, and you can see why I wanted her to come, she explains it so simply and really makes it understandable. It's time for a quick break. Please don't go away, because JJ is going to come back and share some of her favorite foods and not so favorite foods for gut health. Stay with us. People say, I gave my son a little bit of apple juice.
Notice this is here and the apples are there.
This is not good. So these are not our favorite foods. Tell me about apple juice.
These are the no-nos, and agave is right there with it.
Yes.